Felt like a verdict. Good advice there. Yeah, everybody breathe. That's a good idea. Crow Raid, welcome everybody from Crow Raid. Let's see. Where the hell do I even find the news channels on this? Tell. Who's covering it right now? Is MSNBC or CNN? What do we have? We go to Fox. Fox. Innocent. Just automatically.
Yes.
Hey. Are you going to bring up your backup? Oh, it's already there. There we go. Mute it. Well, this is exciting. Can you say something? Can I hear you? I think I can.
No, I'm on mute.
Okay, cool.
Threats. I mean, the story.
How much did you miss me during our break? Scale of 1 to 10. It's 1. Guys, it's 1. The answer is 1.
So much.
What you're describing, the rule of law. And I think it should not be minimized that this trial was fair, that Judge Merchan sometimes objected on the part of the defense,
Absolutely.
particularly during Stormy Daniels' testimony, and then sustained his own objections, however that works, that weren't made by the defense. But to Rachel's point about fairness, that was clearly the ethos that this judge brought to this courtroom.
Brought that ethos and managed what is an unusual defendant, legally unusual because we've never had a former president
I'll be
in a
right back.
situation
I
where
just
there
need
was
to get a
enough
drink.
evidence to indict and try them. Programmatically or stylistically unusual because he did violate the gag order. He was held in contempt, and the judge had to decide how to manage all that and did it to play for, I think, time rather than conflict.
Everyone is poking me. What do we got? What do we got? Oh, the alternate jurors have entered. They've taken their seat in the front row of the gallery. That's from Jenna Bromwich, a reporter on this story for the New York Times. Sue Craig, what are you hearing?
It's just about to happen. It's incredible. And I was also just thinking
And
about
we
the
get
judge.
Suzanne
Clearly
Craig.
he's
That's
been
Pulitzer
he
Prize
has been
winning
with
New York
Donald Trump.
Times author
Clearly
Suzanne
issues about the
Craig.
gag order and how firm he has been. And I think it really did shut a lot down at the end. It didn't shut everything down. But I just had a lot of respect sitting in the courtroom, watching that judge day in and day out, just how even he was.
Well, and we should say what he policed against, what he guarded against for histrionics. His most intense display of emotion was when Donald Trump's attorney said you can't send Donald Trump to prison based on Michael Cohen. He cleared out the. I mean, he really tried to preserve the letter of the law, the sanctity of the law, and to minimize melodrama.
And the antics when the one witness that they did call came up, Costello, and was giving him side eye and sighing, and he was like having
staring me down.
Hey, Felice,
So
I
let me
think
just bring our
no
viewers.
matter
I'll tell
what,
you everything
we
I
just
know.
plan
So
on
for our colleagues who are sitting in
packing
the
a bowl when this is
overflow
done.
room, there's a screen.
I think so.
They see an image of
One way or another, I think I need to medicate.
Donald Trump and his attorneys and the prosecutors. That screen is still in standby mode, which means
I'm gonna get some water.
Ari Melber.
We are looking at count 1, guilty.
Holy
2, guilty. Count 3, guilty. Count 4, guilty. Count 5, guilty. Those are the first 5 counts coming out of this jury finding Donald J. Trump guilty on the first 5 felony counts. Reading the rest as we are getting it from our court reporters.
starting with count 6.
Count 6, guilty. Count 7, guilty. Count 8, guilty. And you'll see on the screen we're tracking ahead. Count 9, guilty. Count 10, guilty. Count 11,
I'm gonna cry.
guilty. Count 12, guilty. Count 13, guilty. Count 14, guilty. Count 16, guilty. Count 17, guilty. Count 18, guilty. Count 19, guilty. Count 20, guilty. Count 21, guilty. Count 22, guilty. Count 23, guilty. Count 24, guilty. Count 25, guilty. Count 26, guilty. Count 27, we're seeing that on screen, guilty. Count 28, guilty. Those are the first 28 felony counts here as read by the jury. Count 29, guilty. Count 30, guilty. Count 31, guilty. Count 32, guilty. Count 33 and 34, guilty. That is Donald J. Trump, defendant in New York versus Donald Trump, found guilty on all 34 felony counts. That is the verdict here in this case.
Rachel?
Listen, it's a unanimous jury verdict, unanimous on all counts. This is a definitive and, this is an irreducible verdict. He can appeal. I'm sure he will appeal. But this is everything that the prosecution asked for from a jury that, by all accounts, took this thing very, very seriously. We counted the deliberation hours down here. The test here for us as a country is not about what happens on appeal and is not about what happens in sentencing. The test for us now as a country is whether or not this former president and his allies will have succeeded in trying to undermine the rule of law so that people reject this as a legitimate function of the rule of law in our country. They have tried to delegitimize this judge. They have tried to delegitimize this court. They have tried to delegitimize these proceedings. They've even tried to delegitimize the laws that he was charged under. Those efforts are the tests that we now have as a country. The people involved in bringing this case have been threatened and intimidated and had everything brought to bear on against them in a way that was designed to delegitimize this process in the eyes of the American people. It is now in the hands of the American people to decide if we will accept those efforts or whether we will stand by the rule of law and recognize this as a fair proceeding.
A wise woman said a few nights ago, 2 Mondays ago, that the rule of law is mortal. It needs to be protected. It isn't an abstract thing. And today, the people have names that we've all come to know. They're named Joshua Steinglass. They're named Alvin Bragg. They're named Susan Oppinger.
Yeah. And there are other cases that are pending against Donald Trump as a criminal defendant. The difference is that we now know as a country what it is to put a former president on trial and to see that trial to fruition. That is something that was hypothetical before we ever had this guy as a former president. But now we have lived through it, and we know that the court process can work. A defendant who is a former president can be tried as a normal defendant. Again, the appeals process will go on, the sentencing process will go on, and those will all be pressure points. But the legal system in this country treats any former president as any citizen. We've seen that today, and this jury deserves to be thanked for their efforts and to be protected from the kinds of attacks and intimidation and recrimination that the president and his allies have tried to bring down on this process.
Let me just tell folks
Sure.
what's happened. What Ari said or Andrew said would happen has happened. Judge Merchan went juror to juror to juror. They all concurred with the verdict that Donald Trump is guilty on all 34 criminal counts, 34 felonies. And they have been thanked for their service, Ari.
Yeah, what you just reported and what Rachel was reminding us is actually existing in a microcosm within the trial because the jury is being polled, a jury of the peers of the defendant, as is his right. So that's legally something where the defense counsel is asked, do you want to make sure? They almost always, virtually always say yes. And so we're told, and we're looking at our notes here, pardon me for looking down, but our reporters are seeing the defendant, Donald Trump, is looking at the jury, is watching them as they are individually polled. But this is, as Rachel reminded us, someone who has been held in contempt for what he has said and done against other people and witnesses in the system. So I would call that a fairly intense moment.
He's
good
staring
for the
them
jury,
down.
good for the system to go right through it. Our reporters also telling us that while Trump has rarely shown emotion or changed his, quote, demeanor throughout the trial right now, he's only looking down. Eric Trump reportedly looking upset, and that's the scene in the room.
Eric's crying.
When you say poll the jury, what you mean is individually, jurors by number will be asked, is this your verdict? And then they each have to answer orally. They have to say out loud, yes.
Yes, and that's the
It's got to
transparency.
be a scary moment for those individual jurors.
Right, as they're being stared down,
Yes.
but it's a transparency in our system. You said something so important. The system worked. We discussed earlier when we were awaiting this that it works not because of the result, but because of the process. And that if it were an acquittal, we would be discussing that the system went forward. This is that system, and the judge and the bailiffs and others are there to protect the people and protect them in a physical sense as needed. But what we are hearing is that this jury heard the evidence, asked these questions. We know some of what was on their minds. We haven't heard from them other than the verdict. And now are confirming that this is their unanimous verdict. And so it's a matter of transparency that everyone sees each of them confirm what was officialized today, that Donald Trump is guilty, that all 12 jurors unanimously reached that decision through their reasoning with each other on all 34 counts.
Andrew.
Just to Rachel's point, there is something.
I just want to say, like, this is my first thought about this, is like, we need to protect, like, it's our job, all this work we've done, you know what I mean, to finally like hold someone to account is super important. And now, like, it's our job online to continue protecting these people. Like, this is, you know what I mean, now all these people are in danger. And like Rachel said, they've worked so hard to delegitimize the system thus far, and they're going to continue to try. Oh, let's hear what Andrew Weissman's saying, because
There are democracies in the international community who have managed to hold political leaders to account, and we have shown that we can do that as well in a fair process where the defendant got extremely good counsel, had an incredibly fair process from this judge, in spite of his attacking the witnesses, the judge's family, the jurors. Everybody did their job. And finally, on a small board, Alvin Bragg, both personally was attacked. He was vilified for saying no to this case when he first took office, and people said, that how could he do that? And he said, after he said it wasn't ready. And this is a real vindication for him that he said, I'm going to bring it when it is ready and if it is ready. And then he brought it. And it's a real testament that he said, yes, now I think this case could be brought. And
should we check out Fox?
Yeah, I've got it. I see Judge Janine losing her goddamn mind right now. Yeah,
do you want to
Fox.
hear it?
Yeah.
What? Yeah. Okay.
I just gotta say, this is the weirdest
Feeling?
Well, so 20 minutes ago, I got message that that Chad Daybell was found guilty. I've been involved in that.
Lori,
so like,
yeah.
It's like the two of like the most negative, impacting people in my life on the same day within like 30 minutes of each other. We had this verdict. I think this is the first time in my life I've been speechless. I have no idea what to say.
Because so much energy has gone into holding these people accountable, and finally, like,
we got so used to Trump getting away with everything.
Yeah,
and
like,
the Daybells
feels good.
Same with Chad Daybell. Like, all these people around them that just like consistently enable them and let them get away with this shit because of their fairy tale belief systems. Like, it's just like, that sucks. Like, I don't like that I'm emotional, and it makes me a little bit happy that people are going to jail, because I don't want to be that person. But like, these are the two most divisive forces of my life, in my entire life. The two people that have probably caused me the most heartache on the same day are guilty, which is just, I don't know, it's a little overwhelming, to be honest.
No, I mean, listen, we're basically being gaslit. I'm gonna cry. We're basically being gaslit 24 hours a day, right? Like, by these people on Fox News. The way they talk, none of this is real. And it's like, following this, reading the transcripts, we all know this is very real. And that jury of people, of New York, hardworking, professional people, it took them hours to say what the evidence showed, which is that, yeah, this guy did this. And like, our blood, sweat, and tears is basically going into like preserving the rule of law, the meaning of the truth, right, in this country. It's exhausting to fight with people about what is reality, what is truth. And finally, for once, there's some accountability and a peeking through of sunlight. Of hope.
Felice and I have talked about this before. Like, I don't know if on the live, but like, there are times when you're just like, God, am I the fucking crazy one? Like, is it me? Like, am I the one that is just not living in reality? And here we are, And for whatever's being said on Fox News, like, we can only guess. It wasn't fair. It was stolen. It was rigged. This is another instance. Like, shut the fuck up. Okay,
Open
America
and closed.
does. You can talk and you can pander to these morons that listen to all you want, but at the end of the day, the American people spoke resoundingly. The jury of his peers spoke resoundingly. 34. Nobody believed all 34 counts would stick. I've never heard a single human say 34 counts are going to stick, and yet here we are. And why? Why did we all doubt that 34 counts would stick? Not because the case wasn't great, not because it was fucking obvious from reading the transcripts, but because this piece of shit has gotten away with everything his entire life, and he's had people there protecting him, and there was nobody there to protect him anymore. And frankly, like, I'm sure this is a tough day for his kids. I bet that really, really fucking sucks. But for the Trump people that are sad today, think about all the people that you gaslit and told were crazy. Think of all the people that you called demons, all the people that you ostracized from your families for this piece of shit, for this obvious felon. How many of you have thrown away relationships in your life? How many of you have cast people out of your life because of this guy? And look, this is going to keep happening. We all said, like, this might have been remember going in, this might have been the weakest case. Yeah, it's going to keep happening. Get used to losing, MAGA. You should be used to it by now, but get used to it. And I don't feel sad.
This is the weakest case, but this one was open and shut. That's the bottom line. Like, we didn't say that on the air, but that's what we said behind closed doors. And if Trump, because he gets away with things, because he threatens people, maybe it won't turn out that way. But that is something that I can say is very true. This is the weakest case, so he can line up to get found guilty on all the other ones.
He's speaking. Do you want to?
Yeah.
Let's see what this fucking loser has to say.
This district in this area, this was a rigged, disgraceful trial. But the real verdict is going to be November 5th by the people. And they know what happened here, and everybody knows what happened here. You have a sore respect, DA, and the whole thing. We didn't do a thing wrong. I'm a very innocent man.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Criminal.
I'm fighting for our country. I'm fighting for our Constitution. Our whole country is being rigged right now. This was done by the Biden administration in order to wound or hurt an opponent, a political opponent.
Look at Todd
And I
Blanche.
think it's just a disgrace. And we'll keep fighting. We'll fight till the end and we'll win. Because our country's gone to hell. We don't have the same country anymore. We have a divided mess. We're a nation in decline, serious decline. Millions and millions of people pouring into our country right now from prisons and from...
Oh, here we go. Racism.
Terrorists, and they're taking over our country. We have a country that's in big trouble. But this was a rigged decision right from day one with a conflicted judge who should have never been allowed to try this case, never. And we will fight for our Constitution. This is long from over. Thank you very much.
Whole thing is rigged. Look at the Chiron.
Gotta say, that is a defeated man.
All right.
The way that he's walking, the way that he's talking.
I don't want to hear their lies.
We said it yesterday. They knew they were gonna lose. They know what they did. And frankly, like, what they're saying to you, the American people, to all these people that they conned, is, hey, this is a system where rich people are supposed to get away with things, and we're not getting away with things. That's what he's telling you. 34 counts. Every time this piece of shit has gone to court since he left office, he's lost. He lost every election case, every single one of them. He lost all 3 civil cases, and now this one. How many more does it take? How many more does it take for you MAGA to wake the fuck up? I can't imagine. I'm imagining the cope that's happening across the internet today. But where's all the people that said...
Someone said Maud's crying.
Good.
In the comments. That's what someone said in the comments.
the
I don't know if
grift is-
that's true.
Good. The grift is over. You got duped. And I hope that those are tears of realizing you wasted years of your life defending a con man. I hope that really hurts. And I hope it teaches you a lesson. Most of us knew he was a con man before the guilty verdict. Now, hopefully some of you are figuring it out. He's been a con man for decades. Everybody knew it before he ran for president. Everybody knew it when he ran for president, and we know it now. And the only ones that don't know it now, or the only ones that claim they don't know it now, are people that do not have the intestinal fortitude to say the same things he can't say. I was wrong.
Hide
I'm
the
guilty.
ketchup is right. What's getting hit with a bottle of ketchup tonight for sure.
Look, there's gonna be violence today. There's going to be families that are divided today. There is going to be people losing their ever living minds today. This is not it's not a good day for America. It's not. Like, it's good to know our justice system held up, but we need to look at ourselves in the eye and say, hey, we brought in a con man. Like, we did this. We knew what we were doing. We brought him in. What does that say about us as a country? We're not the greatest country in the world. We haven't been for a while, but we could be. And it starts by not electing con men. It starts by, even if you're a Republican, electing people that at the very least will tell us the truth. At the very, very least.
I could not agree more. I mean, this is what like, this is the point though. Like we said, remember when I was talking and I was pointing out an article that said that Trump's base is inoculated against his guilt, right? And that's the problem, right? The only thing now, if he loses an election, it's rigged. If he loses a trial, it's rigged. Like, the fight doesn't stop now. And I encourage everyone, read the trial transcripts, brush up on the law, because this is an open and shut case. That's the reality. Like, the jury has every right to see it however they want, and we couldn't predict that. But by as far as what evidence was presented and the jury instructions we never got to read by how it's charged, yeah, it's an open and shut case. So,
great news for everybody who didn't want to have to hear those. Now you'll never hear them.
They're really interesting. They're fascinating. I actually am so glad.
Just a couple comments here. Happy TG Day. What is that? TG Day.
Trump guilty.
Trump guilty day. There you go.
I was like,
and that's from Dagny. And Mika said, "Thank you all for this show. This is America." Yeah, it's like a weirdly like a devastating day. And
it is devastating. That's why I burst into tears.
I didn't expect it. I didn't expect to be emotional about it. I really didn't. That was weird.
No, because this is why. Because listen, this is how I feel about sports, though. Like, when I do something, like, I put my heart and soul into it. How many hours of your life will you never have back fighting against the lies that Trump's spreading? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, this is the most important thing I've ever done.
Yeah. That's crazy.
And we always tell people you're on the wrong side of history. Like, this is what we mean. Like, forever and always, our contribution to this is on, recorded and on the internet. Like, we are in a fight for sanity in this fucking country.
Yeah, I don't know what
and
to
we
say.
we have a billionaire who owns a news network. Rupert Murdoch is responsible for what's our families being broken apart. Like, that's the reality. This billionaire who's like, oh God, that's what happened here. Billionaires realized if they can hold one of us accountable, they can hold the rest of us accountable. And now 24 hours a day, we have a disinformation campaign going on. This is what we're going to have to fight against.
I'm just looking at the graphic.
Do you want me to play? Do you want me to turn this on? It's gonna be.
Yeah,
I can put Rachel Maddow
Turley?
back on, or we can, because what Fox is gonna say is not gonna be.
Oh my God,
it's gonna be super awful. What?
Let me send you this picture. Maybe you could. Well, it's fine. I just saw a picture.
Can you imagine the pictures of like MAGA? What do you think those Asian people outside the courthouse are doing?
Oh no,
right now?
somebody's got to check on them.
The Asian people are drinking the Kool-Aid right now. Someone check on the Asian. There's probably some Heaven's Gate situations happening right now.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, what do we want to hear?
I want to hear it, but I don't.
I just. Do we want to hear? Do we want to take guests? Well, look,
we
we'll
can
do
take
this.
some guests. I'm fine with that too. Oh, there you had a bet going. You won the bet.
Yes, I'm going to concede to the bet. I was wrong. You were right. But, and this isn't a big but, I just want to say for me, you guys realize that I said I even think that the prosecution made that case. I never said I didn't think he didn't do it.
That's true.
I never
That's
said,
true.
I never
No,
said
it's
I
true.
didn't think he didn't do it. I
you're
just
right.
said I didn't think the prosecution made the case. But then my mind started to change with the closing arguments and things like that.
Well, I'm looking forward to those 1,000. Is it 1,000 likes a day?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
your
a man of my
fingers
word.
are
I'm
going to
doing
be
it every
really
day.
strong.
I gotta tell you,
My
Drew.
dog, this is so loud. Enjoy the day, and it is a sad day no matter what.
Yeah, I
Oh,
agree with you.
box of wine. Janine is talking. Let's listen to Janine.
Thanks, Drew.
Bye.
See you, buddy.
And now they're going to return a verdict and say, oh, he's guilty. He's definitely guilty. This is a jury pool made out of 85 to 90% of the people are anti-Trump. Not pro-anybody, anti-Trump. That's the jury pool. We knew it. We have a judge who wasn't picked out of the
Coping.
wheel or out of the drum, as all of us
hard.
judges are. And he was a judge who was selected. Not
Now, please keep in mind, judge selections are random, but please keep in mind that this woman's rich husband received a pardon from Donald Trump. That's what's happening here, right? This is a woman whose husband paid for a pardon, and now she's crying and she's on that boxed wine. Like, is what we're experiencing with that. Like, prepare to be gaslit, even worse than before. Like, this is going to be its own punishment in itself. Because before these people wake up from the cult, they're going to kick and scream and flail around. It's going to get worse before it gets better. That's the unfortunate part of all of this. Let's look, she's still yelling.
until we get to the charge to the jury, as if the prosecution and the judge, with a wink and a nod, said, hey, I'll give you that old accomplice testimony. Even though we didn't charge Donald Trump with aiding and abetting anyone else, I'll throw it in as a matter of law. He's an accomplice. And I'll throw in those federal election violations. So they'll have to say, yeah, Donald Trump must have done it too. And I'll throw in a hooker and a guy who's a serial perjurer. This is lunacy. And I think that any red-blooded American who sees this is going to understand this isn't what we do to our political enemies. This is what they do in kangaroo courts. And
again, nobody told Donald Trump to have sex with a porn star while he was married and his child, he had just had a child. Nobody told him to do that. Judge Janine saying we threw in a hooker. First of all, Stormy Daniels is not, in fact, a hooker, and second of all, we didn't throw him in. All of these people that she's complaining about, these are Trump's friends that he surrounded himself with and engaged in a criminal conspiracy with. Oh, here's Jonathan Turley. Should we hear what Jonathan's whining about?
I had to go get some a beverage.
Oh, I'm gonna get something. I'll be right back. Something.
Actually gathered their stuff and was starting to leave. And then the judge came and basically said, my mistake, we just got a note saying there's a verdict. Throughout this time, you could feel the building pressure in that courtroom. The one person that didn't seem to register it was the former president. He had been chatting with counsel. He didn't show any emotion at all as this mantra of guilty verdicts was read.
Yeah, that's the sign of a sociopath, is what you're describing there, Jonathan.
Really embodies the entire Trump era. There were people who clearly were thrilled by the result, and there were people that will be very sad by it. I was saddened to watch it. I disagree with this verdict. I think, as I've said before, that this case was legally unfounded. When they were reading those guilty verdicts, the one thing that we didn't know is really what he was found guilty of.
That's a complete lie.
The judge.
Okay, I'm not letting Jonathan. I'm sorry, I just can't let Jonathan Turley make up lies. What, Jonathan? Do you hear him spread? This is a lawyer spreading a conspiracy theory. Like, he's doing it right now. We do know what Trump was found guilty of. 175.10, falsification of business records in the first degree. What elevated those to a felony was 175- or 15-175, right?
Yeah.
Conspiring to promote or prevent elections. So we do absolutely know what Trump was found unanimously guilty of. Now, what they didn't have to agree on were what the unlawful means were, right? Because there were so many different ones to choose from. Other falsification of business records, because there was more, tax fraud, or federal election campaign act violations. That's what he, and that's, so to say that they don't know what they found him guilty of, no, that's not true, Jonathan, and you know it.
You know who I want to talk to? I want to talk to all the people that came and saw us after the tax civil case in the E. Jean Carroll and said, "Oh, well, I'll care when it's criminal."
Yeah, it's just
people?
liable. Liable's different. Liable's
those
different.
people?
Trump's sentencing is July 11th. Oh my God, it's gonna be like 2 4th of Julys.
That's wild that it takes that long. I mean, I don't really know the process.
Oh,
I'm
it takes,
surprised
yeah, the time in between. That's actually kind of short.
for
So
sentencing.
what do you think that means? Do you think we should? I want to hear someone talk about, like, if he gets jail time, does he do it after he's president? Like, what?
I also want to say this. I don't. There's probably not that many conservatives in here, but
He's really
like,
going to be president in jail. We're going to have a president in jail.
these same people on Republican Live. This is what I want you guys to remember. If you're Republican, the same people on Republican Lives and Republican shows that are telling you this is bullshit are the same people who told you he would never be found guilty. It's not bullshit. They were wrong, and they're just like him. They can't admit that they were wrong. So just remember that everybody you go and see today, and I think you guys should remind them, every last one of them used the argument like, well, has he been convicted? Has he been convicted? Oh no, those were civil crimes. Well, now he has, right? And they're gonna say, oh, there's gonna be an appeal. And frankly, we do need to be concerned about an appeal.
Where's Dale?
It matters. Yeah, where's Dale? It matters where the appeal is. We have to decide if we trust the judges, but every one of those judges that any Trump appointed judges would have far more of a track record of being biased than Judge Merchan here. Like there's nothing here on his record that outside of a small donation to Joe Biden saying he's biased. He didn't come to this decision. We don't even know what the sentencing is. But just remember that those same people that are going to stand up there and tell you everything's all right, like, who's the grifter? You tell me who the grifters are. Is it us, or is it the people that are going to stand up here today when they were wrong and be like, no, really, we were right. Just wait. Just like everything with Trump, just wait. The truth will come out.
2 weeks.
Who did you say wanted to talk?
I think Jen said Ty.
So do we know when they're gonna say what his sentencing is?
July 11th.
July 11th. So he's been found not guilty, so he doesn't have to worry about going to court right now.
He's been found guilty.
Guilty, so he doesn't have to worry about going to court now.
Not this court. This court's adjourned. He's got some other cases pending.
Well, they're not gonna happen before the election.
Well, I think the Georgia one will.
You think the Georgia one will?
Yeah, but Ty, is this your time to show up and tell us how wrong you were?
Sure, he's been found guilty. What else? Like, what do you else want me to say?
Yeah, does that give you pause? Like, you were so wrong about this.
Okay, I was wrong about him not being found guilty. Oh well, I'm still gonna vote for him.
Why?
Because I don't want Biden to, what's the term?
Be president?
I don't want Biden to codify Roe v. Wade.
Oh, so it's
He's
literally
desperate to control women's bodies. Desperate.
It's not about controlling.
Ty's making sure, like, just in case anybody liked me, here's what I'm gonna say. I want to make sure that we codify this, or we don't codify Roe.
Ty's here to triple down.
Dude. I just want to say, like, you fit in with these people. You don't care that somebody's a felon. You don't care what anybody does. All you care about is controlling women's body, which is ironic for a guy who, my guess is, knows very little about the female body. But I just want to say congratulations. You've made it this far since 2016, still defending this loser who keeps losing over and over and over, an adjudicated rapist, now a convicted felon. And congratulations, man. You Christians sure know how to pick them.
And I want Project 2025 to go into effect.
Yeah, you're just a piece of shit. I think that's what we've learned. Like, you're just a bad person, and you're lonely, and you're miserable. I think that's what we learned. There we go. There's the MAGA cope. I'm not hearing shit from Ty today. I'm not gonna hear shit from. There's the true colors, folks. They have their opportunity, right? They have their opportunity to come up and talk about this. Where did Felice go? Did she say she was going to get something? Ty's going to cry in the shower. I don't know if Felice is playing something. I don't know. I don't know if I want to be on for a really long time. Felice, how long do you want to be on for? Sorry, she probably didn't hear that.
Oh, did Ty run?
Yeah, oh yeah. After he told us he wanted Project 2025.
Why does he always do that?
Oh, he's just a gross person. Pizza for breakfast. Maybe. Hey, what's up, friend?
Canada.
Hey, everyone's so happy. Did something happen?
No, just another normal day.
It's actually kind of sad. It's depressing. This is not, it really is a sad day, like, but as far as taking back the fight for our country and the direction, you know, if we're going to slide into authoritarianism, like, you know what I mean? This is a step in the right direction.
Definitely restored my faith a little bit in the justice system, especially after all this Alito controversy. And,
Jeez.
you know,
yeah,
not to rain on this particular parade. But Felice, when you said...
It's a great point about Alito. Like, think about that. Like, this is a judge who won't recuse. These people are complaining about a judge that the ethics commission cleared for no conflicts.
Yeah, that's the first thing he did before he decided to be the judge.
Yeah, it's all in writing. They just don't read.
Real quick, because my daughter did just get home. I don't want to spend too much time. So instead of doing one at a time, I'm just going to open up all the boxes. I'll just bring up anybody in the box. We'll do this for like maybe 20, 25 more minutes, and then I gotta go be with my daughter, but I'll bring up everybody from
Sure, I don't want you to feel obliged.
No. I want to do this. I just wanted to set a timeline. Somebody's got an echo. Who's got it?
Hell yeah, bro! What's up? No, actually, let me just say something real quick, and then I'm gonna pop down. I gotta go coach soccer. This is the strangest feeling where I am both ecstatic and completely terrified for what comes next. So
yeah,
the conversations going forward are going to be extremely dynamic, and I would love some advice from you two pros. Seriously.
Have you heard of cannabis?
Yeah, listen,
yeah, that's my advice.
I'm both done and ready to go on that, but I mean, it doesn't seem to help anything by way of the conversations. I don't know. Just a scary place to be. Thank you for letting me up. We'll go cry and celebrate at the same time after soccer. Take care, guys.
Hey, just real quick, to anybody who does wind up coming up, we're being flagged right and left, so it's probably because of my language, but let's do our best not to get the live taken down. Like, to be extra careful. The MAGAs are not happy right now. They're going to be very upset. It's probably my fault, but just be careful.
I love that you said that right before my turn.
Well, I said it. I said that for a reason. Yeah.
Okay, so I haven't looked up like the what his potential punishments could be, but I believe he could actually still get probation, which would be awful. But my thing is, I can't look it up right now. What happens now that he's a felon with his secret?
He does not have to. He does not have to go to jail. He does not.
Right. Yeah, that's what I thought, that he could get probation.
Yeah, he absolutely doesn't have to go to jail. He is a 34 count felon, though. Like, he's a felon, which is, in my estimation, what really matters. Honestly, I don't care. Like, he's a what do you want to call it? Like a symbol of a political movement at this point. Mm-hmm. Where he is, whether he's locked up, whether he can speak or not, like, that damage is going to continue. It's like the same reason they had to throw what's his name in the sea, and so he couldn't have a gravesite, so people couldn't make pilgrimages there. Like that's the point we're at. Like with this, it's the idea. I honestly I cared less about the jail time than the verdict, because this is what matters. The label. He's labeled in history for all time what he is, the first president to be criminally tried and convicted.
I hope he gets time. I hope he gets a lot of time. A lot of it. But
I'm
does
seeing
he
this.
get, what happens with his Secret Service detail though? That's my question. Now that he's a convicted felon, does he get to keep his Secret Service detail?
I feel like I read.
Yes,
I might have.
they would go to prison with him. Yes,
But I think
Jeez.
they protect the guards, is what I think I read the other day. That Secret Service would then be required to like protect the guards. So it's like it's a weird thing. I'm seeing a prison term range of 1 1/3 to 4 years.
Yeah, when they when Todd Blanche said like during his closing argument was like, you're about to send the president to prison or whatever, and that's like they can't discuss sentencing. Like the curative instruction at the end of it said, oh, you don't have to, it's not a requirement that he be put in jail.
I'm not saying I got that backwards, that the guards protect Secret Service. I might have had that backwards. That actually makes more sense. But now I don't know. Now I don't know which one it is.
Well, thanks for letting me up. I'm about to drop. Baby Jones just texted me and told me to tell you that I am doing your shirts. And
You
so
are?
your shirts will be out soon. Yeah.
How soon?
I just have to finish something on him tonight with the SUV because he forgot to put something with associates on it. But I have the mock-ups. I can maybe send it to you on Instagram
Yeah.
so you can see what it looks like. Yeah, but
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I have to change something on it, but the shirts will be ready soon.
Amazing. Can't wait.
Okay, bye. Have a good
See
day,
ya.
everybody.
Hey friends, how you guys doing?
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Hey.
Hey.
So it's kind of like I was so excited when I heard the verdict, but now I'm kind of sad for our country. Like it's great that the justice system works and we have shown that it works. But it's also a sad day because again, our country is like this where we have to have to criminalize a Trump guy, right? Criminalize a Trump guy. But yeah, it's sad and happy. It's bittersweet. But still, I'm still celebrating. I'm still going to get majorly, I'm not going to say it, but it's going to be a good party night. Let's put it that way.
Same here.
You deserve it. This is the first drink I've had in probably like a month. I rarely drink, but I was like, we're doing it today.
Yeah. And then lastly, the best thing that's going to come out of this, I think, is Donald Trump in Florida. If you are a felon, you cannot vote. So he will not be able to vote for himself in Florida.
Oh, poor guy.
But thank you guys. Thank you.
Is that by state? I didn't know that. It's by state.
I thought it was everywhere, but maybe it is by state.
I think it's by state.
Is it?
Is it?
I think I talked a lot.
I thought it was a federal. I don't know.
It could be a federal.
There you have it. If
Yeah.
you can't vote, you can't vote. Well, because if it's by state, then the state could only say you couldn't vote in state elections. They still couldn't control a federal election, is what I'm trying to say.
In all but 2 states, voting age citizens convicted of a felony are barred from voting. And the 2 states, again, Vermont doesn't exist.
Vermont. Oh.
Nice. There you go, facts. With your bullshit fake ass state, you're going to tell me that you let felons vote. And then I guess probably in Vermont, if you don't let felons vote, nobody can vote. That's probably what it is. There's like, they wouldn't have anybody to vote.
Well, thank you guys. Great live as also. I'll be dropping down.
Thanks, brother. Good to see you.
Bye, Justin.
Bye.
Chris, your beard is looking lovely today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is bullshit. He's not guilty.
Oh.
You look like the kind of person, like your beard screams
you
the kind
must
of person
fit
who would
right
say
in on
this.
the right.
That's why I don't like going on camera when I go into lives and stuff, because I just have the aesthetic of a Trumper.
You definitely do.
Aesthetic of a Trumper. They already got the troll doll?
Did you cut off your sleeves in defiance? Is that what it is?
Yeah, I ripped them off. As soon as they
ripped them off.
I just ripped my sleeves right off. I'm not strong enough to get the middle. So what do we do now? Like, whenever we're in lives with Snuggles, do we tell him 1 conviction or 34?
He's been saying that so much. Isn't that the only thing he ever says? Is
Yes.
like, how many criminal convictions?
He might not be on for a while. Like, I predict Snuggles might disappear for a little bit, or he'll turn into Jeff, which I've seen him like the last couple of days be like Jeff and be like, oh, I'm going to be a Biden supporter. I don't know.
We're not taking Snuggles. I draw the line. I'm drawing the
We're
line.
not
Can we all
taking
agree
Snuggles.
Snuggles
We're
isn't
not.
welcome?
No, yeah, no.
All right.
Hey, I'm running to the bus stop, but I wanted to say something. He was convicted in New York, not Florida, which means that New York's laws apply. And if I heard right, as a felon, you can vote if you're not imprisoned.
In Florida? Let's find out.
In New York.
But he votes in Florida. So I wonder
He's a
if you're
citizen of Florida.
But Florida's voter restrictions don't apply.
Well, I'm
to
telling
him.
you, he cast his vote in Florida. He's registered to vote in Florida. When he goes to vote with Melania, he goes to vote in Florida. He has a Florida ballot.
Yeah,
I
where
guess
he
what we're
does
trying to
his
decide is
own.
if that record from New York applies in Florida. Is that what we're trying to say? Like, we're not sure if that felony, like, if they'll recognize that in Florida and not let him vote.
I don't know, but if he were to change his ballot and say that he is now a resident of New York, it is possible for him to be able to vote.
Well, since he's not allowed to have property there or be ownership
Who
of it.
cares if he votes or not, though? Why are we? I don't care. I mean,
I just don't want him to have that photo
listen.
op.
I actually have a different feeling about this. Like my father now can vote. Like he was a convicted felon. I feel differently about this. I don't know if being a felon should preclude you from voting. Actually,
Florida says.
I agree.
So I actually don't care if he can vote or not, because I think probably most felons should be able to vote. I mean, I think that needs to be looked at for sure.
It says in
I
Florida,
agree.
if you've finished your sentence, then you're eligible to vote. And a felony conviction from another state makes a person ineligible to vote in Florida only if the conviction would make the person ineligible to vote in the state where the person was convicted.
Okay.
Yeah, that's-
so it goes back to New York law then.
Yeah.
And then I think it might be a good thing because when people who are in power end up being put under, what I'm thinking is that if he decides that he wants to try to change the rules for felons, it might end up being a good thing.
Yeah,
for some
I think
people.
so too. I think it will get the issue of just, convicted felons' rights and their view in this society and whether they should be ostracized for the rest of their lives. Yeah, like I totally agree. I think this is actually going to be good for people who have been disenfranchised by the justice system as well.
Thanks for listening. You guys have a great night.
Good luck with your run to the bus stop.
I just want to put this out there that I think all Republicans have a group chat together where they're like deciding what tweets they're going to put out at the same time. They're all going to use the same words, like kangaroo court and rigged are going to be like in every
Banana Republic.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're Venezuela.
Crime. It's always crime.
I scrolled to a couple of them right after, and they are spiraling bad already.
Yeah,
Honestly, I'm gonna let them have their time. Like their cult leader
I'm not.
was just convicted of. I know you're not.
They don't deserve it.
Do you know Billy Ray Dipchit? That guy, he's always in the comments. He's really funny, but he's. I know he's in conservative lives probably right now,
Dipchit?
tormenting people.
Oh yeah,
Billy
he always
Ray-
goes in there.
He's hilarious.
Jen.
Oh, this was so inconvenient. I'm wrapping up for the end. I'm getting ready to head out the door to get a thing, and it's a verdict in. I was legit half out of the shower.
I was
running
outside
back to-
CVS and you called me, and I was like, "What's happening?"
Good day.
Watching the RIP America's trending on Twitter, and it is just cope and seethe. Justice has lost, evil has won. RIP America, 1776 to 2024.
Did you see the video of the protesters outside that were like?
No, we were wondering about them.
Oh,
Those
they were-
ladies.
The Asians, are
Yeah,
they
and then
okay? Are they
yeah,
okay?
No, they're not. They're actually still crying.
They're
I
like
think
laying
that-
on the ground crying. I'm
they're
not
s-
surprised.
they're
I'm gonna find
singing.
clips of them for sure for tomorrow's show.
May I say something?
I'm gonna find them. Yes.
Hey, I'm 69 years old, a veteran, and I just want to say when I heard the news and I heard you guys, I peed my pants. I was so happy. You know what I mean? It was like, oh my God, I released it. But I just want to say I love you guys.
Is it released?
And, oh my God, he made my day. 34 felonies. That's going to stay in his record forever. All right.
That accountability burns.
Yeah.
That story's
I
gonna stay
just
in my
want to
mind
say
forever.
thank you for bringing me up, and can you knock me out because I'm blind? I got blind at the other
we gotcha.
Thank you.
We are the pea in Lorenzo's pants.
She has to be related to
It's
Miss
the
Jewel.
nicest thing anyone's ever said to me.
That's hilarious. Can you guys hear me? I think my headphones are messed up.
Yeah, you sound great.
Oh, okay, awesome. No, the original reason I came up was I was worried about the repercussions of MAGA on this, and we're already talking about like the rallies and the women singing and crying outside, but how like I went on Twitter immediately and people are already defending it. Several other TikTok lives as well, and I just have concerns like
Yeah, they are on Fox for
It's
sure.
scary.
Immediate minute. I mean, they've been preparing for this moment, like because the guilt is overwhelming. Like that's the reality. If you research, if you really follow this, if you read the transcripts, his guilt is over. I mean, by the jury, by the instructions given to that jury, the only thing, unless there was one holdout who just refused, because you guys, we didn't even want to talk about this, but like. And you can't always tell anything from it, obviously, but there were two jurors. One guy juror number 2 said out of his own mouth with no shame that he gets his news from Truth Social.
Yeah.
Like, and I didn't even want to bring it up, but I was like, yeah, there could, and another one said Fox News. So I was like, there could potentially be two crazies.
Was there not a couple people that were actually lawyers?
Well, there were 2 lawyers, but they're not criminal lawyers. But I mean, yeah, there were 2 lawyers. But I mean, this is the thing. This was a white collar, like Manhattan jury. Like they all. There's an engineer. There, like these are people with brains who can think and follow instructions. So.
I just found the best tweet ever. Somebody said, somewhere right now, Eric Trump is trying to count to 34 using his hands.
They said he was crying. They said Eric was looking very bad in the court.
Oh, that's so sad. But I brought it up because I also saw Trump already truthing immediately after.
Oh, he was in the hallway
Yeah.
screaming that it was all a sham and Soros backed DA. He said we're losing he said something racist. He said something about the replacement theory. And yeah, he was. I mean, he was still on script.
Millions are coming across from jails and mental institutions.
I think the one part that maybe I don't know if anybody's seen this, but like it's not a significant portion, but there is a portion of the Republic like this probably ends his campaign. There are now people who would have voted for him who won't, and it's not significant. But I just wonder, like behind the scenes, does anybody in the GOP have the guts to float? Hey, maybe we just swap him out.
Yeah, I don't know. Has anyone come out and said anything?
I've only seen support.
Yeah, Trump.
I mean, but like from the GOP, I haven't seen anything about it.
Oh, they're tweeting.
I haven't seen anything but support. Yeah, I haven't heard anybody come out and talk against it.
Yeah.
They're all, I mean, this is already, the plans have already been laid. Like we said, the MAGA is inoculated against this. Like people they've already got it in their head that this is rigged. Just like Trump can no longer lose an election, right? Because they're all rigged. Like there's no change in the cult ideology and plan. They planned for this. Like they already have them brainwashed that it's rigged. That's fine. Like, that's fine. Like, I think the guilt is overwhelming, and the only thing that's true was that this was the least open and shut case, but it's still open and shut. It's just the other ones are so overwhelmingly open and shut that this is just the one that was a little bit like, oh, we'll have to wait and see. But like the other ones are a slam dunk. Like if he has Eileen Cannon catching and killing a slam dunk case. Like if he, you know what I mean? Like these, I don't know. They're not gonna change. There's polls that came out about it today. There's an NPR PBS Hour disturbing poll. Like people, they already are dug in, right? There's a very small sliver in the middle of people who are still available, and this will change their minds. Everyone else is dug in.
How do I?
To say, oh, sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I was going to ask, how do I
begin here? Do I raise my hand or what? I don't want to interrupt.
You did it. You did it.
I
It's you
did.
now.
I did.
It's like jumping into double
It's a
dutch.
moot point now. Okay, first off, I want to thank you guys for letting me in, but I just wanted to give you a little anecdote. I was sitting here waiting for my blood results to come through to see whether I had cancer or not. And at the same time, I got my blood results saying I did not have cancer. The thing came on the news saying Trump convicted on 34 counts. And I cannot decide which is better news.
Hey, cheers to you. Cheers to you. Congratulations.
That's amazing
That's
news.
amazing.
I'm gonna cry.
Love to hear that. Congratulations, my friend.
Congratulations, guy. That's awesome.
It's a weird thing when you realize you're not gonna die, though. You have to totally change your psychology. No,
Well,
I'm like going through it.
I'm still gonna die. I'm just not gonna die of cancer. I'm gonna die of stupidity.
Very
I might,
true.
I'll do something stupid and
the way God intended.
Yeah,
he gave you that brain to someday make a decision to end it. That's the whole point.
But now the second half, which is drinks are on me in Vegas. Whoever wants to show up in Vegas, I gotcha.
Hey, I live in
Awesome.
Vegas.
Oh, you got.
I'm already here.
Hell yeah. Congratulations, the real king. Good for you. I'm gonna drop because I don't want to take up a box, but congrats, dude.
Thanks for coming up.
Appreciate you. Thanks for the well wishes.
That's amazing. Yeah, I don't know if everybody was here. Like I had like 5 minutes before this broke. We had Chad Daybell was found guilty, so it was like it was a weird experience for me. It's just having like the two people who probably caused me the most stress ever in my life on the same day are guilty. It was.
I think this has been wearing on, like you said, you didn't know which one was better. Finding out you have a new lease on life and don't have cancer, or this, because I think we are all trying to like hold strong, but the damage this is doing to us, our families, the stress, like, yeah, it just felt like when this verdict came in, like emotion. I didn't realize how much stress. It felt like 1,000 pounds were lifted off me.
Yeah, but it's still just one tiny brick in the wall, right?
No, we fight on. If you believe me,
Of course,
this
of
means
course.
nothing to me. Like I understand. Like this
Of
changes
course,
nothing. We have to get
but
back to
now,
work.
Now I really want to see if this has any effect on the documents case. Because if now the Republicans that are protecting
Let's
Trump
put the pressure.
start to see that, hey, this is a sinking ship. You know what rats do on a sinking ship?
Well-
They leave. And if Eileen Cannon gets off her ass or something happens where we can get her from being a blockade and we can advance this other case of the stolen documents,
I think we
and
will.
that comes through, that's when I'll really start celebrating.
I think Jack Smith can maybe have the confidence to go to the 11th Circuit and get her gone. Or is it the 11th or the 9th? I can't remember. Whatever the federal appeals court is. Like, but not even that. Like, think about it. George Conway did a really good op-ed on this where he was talking about the fact that, like, because Trump's crime network is so wide, it's like we don't have the bandwidth or the focus to point to for if this was the only case, the Docs case, and Eileen Cannon was doing this, the pressure on her would be immense to run that case correctly. And now that we have this one off the table, there's going to be eyes on her. You know what I mean? Everyone's going to be wondering, well, what about the obvious case where he's guilty? Why has nothing happened with that? What's Aileen Cannon doing? So now the pressure will be on. But she seems dug in. I mean, she probably thinks she's going to be the next he appoints to the Supreme Court. You know what I mean? This is for all the marbles for her.
Yeah, and I think now the Supreme Court may have a little guidance on whether a former president is immune from all criminal activity or not. Holy shit. The fact that they even considered that shows how deep we are in an alternate universe.
And their verdict still isn't back. We don't even know what these nutsos... And maybe they pardoned him through their weird presidential immunity. No, he did this before. But you know what I'm saying? Like, who knows? Samuel Alito won't recuse himself.
Oh, yeah. That's just insanity.
Woohoo!
I just came up to say two things, so if I could, that would be great. First of all, this is the only day I wished I had Truth Social because I want to see how crazy. Right? And second, I did scroll through a couple of lives, and the overwhelming response is, "This is just making him more powerful. We've won the election now."
Yeah.
That copium is insane. It's crazy. They'll never. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I just need a few hours of not facing it. But yeah, they're gonna triple down. This is where we see the real committed crazies.
I don't know. Like this, I just put it in the Discord, but like things are weird at the courthouse.
Oh no, Jay! I was
it
gonna
up.
tell you this thing you sent me. This didn't start
Did you
today.
put that in
This has
Discord?
been going on all week. I can't play the videos on our live, or I would have. She did this yesterday.
Oh, you did.
What is she? There's just a lady like
she's
MAGA
running
lady
around
putting
flashing
her
people outside
boobs
the
in like counter protesters' faces. This
Yeah,
is bizarre.
yesterday there's a video of her jumping up and down outside the courthouse, full on like this for 5 minutes.
What is this?
Screaming at like counter protesters. Yeah, but I can't play it on our live.
Yeah, this is wild. First of all, I just don't know
Good
if
boobs.
she's
She
trying to
says
make.
in the video yesterday that they cost $5,000 or something.
I was gonna say I don't think that many people are.
And I was like,
upset
that's a
about
pretty
it.
good boob job. Like,
Yeah.
I have a proposal.
Yeah.
So the sentencing hearing and the sentencing comes down on July 11th. We need to make some kind of a movement where if this goes through the way we want it to, we consider that Independence Day instead of July 4th.
It will be. It's our opinion.
Is it-
Independence Day? It from the crazy.
Is it unethical to tell the highly educated MAGA crowd that you can't vote for a convicted felon?
Why do you can? You can vote for a. That's the crazy thing is you can.
No, I know, but
Yeah.
but if
you
we-
just
if
want
we-
to trick them? Is that what
Yeah.
you're
Maybe
Sorry,
they'll
yeah.
believe us.
No, look. Hey,
No,
fuck
he
ethics
can't
with those
vote
people.
for himself, though.
If they can be tricked into voting for Donald Trump, you should be allowed to trick them.
Oh my God, I
think it's
forgot today was that day. Today's the day that Beau Biden died.
Yeah, yeah, and Joe Biden went to see his
And America.
grandchildren, and it's a conspiracy theory now.
Well, their new conspiracy about the sentencing is it's a week from the RNC convention.
I'm sorry.
Would have been if it would have been 243 days, they would have figured out a reason why that number made sense.
Are you
Everything that-
starting a conspiracy theory right now in real time?
Yes, real time.
It's amazing how they can make things that are unrelated related. Like Kevin, I don't know.
So I wanna tell you guys I was listening to live this morning with like Mod and Corn Pop and SK and stuff, and they were complaining about how leftists don't come up to their live and defend the case and say how there's gonna result in a conviction, and how detail oriented they are and their rebuttals and
we
so
talked to
on and so
SK. She
forth.
came in here and she didn't know
I
anything
know,
about
I know,
it.
but those guys spend their entire waking life
Gaslighting
researching Donald Trump, researching and figuring out ways to rationalize, explain his behavior and how it wasn't going to result in anything and how there was no crime here. And I'm wondering, a lot of those guys have families. They're sacrificing a lot of time with people that they supposedly care about.
And their
to-
law practices. They're sacrificing
Yep.
their law practice.
Is it
Yep.
worth it? Was it worth it?
I mean,
Is it
take a look
convenient?
at Rudy Giuliani. Take a look at Rudy Giuliani. He just lost his law license in New York.
Yeah, and even MOD is conceding that she knows that the documents case in Florida is probably one of the stronger ones, and she says he's probably guilty of obstruction. So
He's definitely
Well, she is an
guilty
attorney,
of. He's definitely guilty. He's guilty in all these cases.
He's guilty on all. All was it
As far
100
as
and
what
some
the
odd?
jury's job, yeah, it's a fact-finding mission. That's what the jury is. They're fact finders. They gave them these 55-page of instructions, which are very detailed,
Yep.
and I've read them 4 times. And
And
according
you know
to
what?
the instructions, he's guilty.
You know what? And those 2 lawyers that they had on the jury helped those others explain, like, hey, this is what.
probably.
Yeah, that's what they did.
The people on the jury are New York professionals. What you have to understand about people living in New York, these are very smart, both street smart and
Yeah.
intelligent people.
And
like these are
these
not
are Donald
people you
Trump's
sleep
peers.
on.
Yeah,
No, they're
people
Donald Trump's peers.
people in New
Absolutely.
York
They're from
know
New
what
York.
he's done. They people in New York know
They've known
Donald
for
Trump.
years. They've
They
known
they
for
And then
longer
just
than
like 2 weeks ago,
anyone.
he went to the Bronx, and like first time ever in his whole entire life went to the Bronx. Really?
I
Oh,
gotta
he went
imagine
to
that
school in the Bronx. Actually, he went to school at Fordham. He lived in the
Yeah.
Bronx.
I gotta
Yeah, but
imagine that having 34 felony convictions is not gonna bode well if you're found guilty in other jurisdictions for other felonies.
We've
I
come a
mean,
long way.
Arizona. Just wait till Arizona investigate. They're not done.
Oh, well, Jay and I are going to be courtroom reporters. We need to get a
right.
press pass.
Mm.
I'm
Well,
I'm
Jay,
elated.
I know you said you wanted
We
to spend
also
some
can't
time.
wait.
I just want to make sure you're the time that you.
Yeah, let's go 10 more minutes, and then I gotta bounce.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah, I'm gonna take off, guys. Thanks for having me up. I gotta get back to work.
Thanks, brother.
Bye,
But
Chris.
just so you guys
Pleasure
know,
as always.
I don't know if you guys know, but Donald Trump Jr. He's on TikTok, and he just posted a video like 19 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Just him crying. What
He
was it?
crying.
TikTok.
Listen to him
was in
crying.
a-
Yes, he made
he
good
was with his
content.
dad backstage yesterday, like trying to get him to like participate in a TikTok video. And his dad was like, "No."
The thing that
He's
sucks-
crying on TikTok.
The thing
He's
that sucks
crying.
for those kids is their life is better off without him. Like he is, like if he left, all of their lives would get significantly better.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
But you know what? Why the kids not getting tried too? Because they signed some of those checks.
It's not there. It's Donald Trump. Listen, Donald Trump is literally a mob boss. We need to hold Donald Trump accountable.
Mhm.
I'm not saying
We
we
have
can't.
to.
We can't now look at Don. Listen. This is the guy. If we're gonna have the
Yeah.
J6 hostages in jail, which
Mhm.
are basically cult members, then
You gotta go for the head of
all I
snake.
care about is like, yes, we need to, and not to. Don't get me
Mhm.
wrong. We can come from both ends, bottom up. And
Well,
top
see,
down,
that's
but
I always
thank
said this,
God.
and when Trump was in office, I always said if true Republicans and Democrats work together, because Republicans are scared of MAGA, and Democrats we're not scared of MAGA. So if we work together, ain't nothing wrong having Republicans and Democrats in Congress, smart Republicans and Democrats working together. You know, just because they're different on different aisles, that's fine. But MAGA don't need to be in Congress at all. Period.
I just want to point out a statistic that we paid $9 million less to convict Donald Trump than to not get Hillary Clinton. So I throw that out there.
That's hilarious.
And we probably save more money by not paying Donald Trump golf too.
Listen, liberals are, like we said on the live today, liberals are more fiscally conservative. We get more bang for our buck.
That is a video worth making.
Mhm.
right there.
At the end of the day, it doesn't
Responsibility.
matter if you're progressive left or you're centered liberal. At the end of the day, we're all come together. That's what we do.
Hey Jay, when are you gonna have Jared Mazguski up here?
Because
Mr. Stolen Valor.
Well, I can't talk to him because every time I go into Mods Live and tag him, I get muted and kicked out. They don't want their little
Because-
symbol of bigotry
like,
to be spoken to.
right now,
I'm
the
gonna go
Republican Party-
find someone that loaded planes with him in Qatar and then bring him up. I'm gonna
'Cause if the
ambush him
Republican
with one
Party
of his
don't wake up-
military people he was not in combat with.
I'm a veteran. Let's go. Who's this?
This is a guy who is accused of stolen valor. Like the
Oh.
reason he was Trump's candidate in Ohio, and he basically made up that he was in combat. He was really loading planes in Qatar, and he says, and then instead of admitting it, because none of them can take any accountability, he basically implied that he was on some top secret mission, and that's why no one has any record in the military of him being in combat.
Wow. I do gotta say, Texas and Illinois, they got really strict stolen valor laws. I do gotta say that.
Yeah, lucky for him, he's in Ohio, where if you're white, it's pretty much you just do what you want.
Oh, it's a pat in the hand. Yeah, you don't get no jail time.
You gotta be also conservative, white and conservative.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, that just like, if they want to consider, Donald Trump, in the little cadet what he was in back when he was younger. But all of a sudden, bone spurs,
He doesn't fight his own battles, is the thing about Donald Trump. If you really think about it, everyone around him is a human shield, including his
Well,
children.
yeah.
This is someone that would not fight his own battle if his
Well,
life depended on
like
it.
I just said this today to one of my people on Snapchat. It took tax from to get Al Capone tax fraud. to get him. Look what we had to do to get Donald Trump. Taxes.
That's the next thing up for him. Like, no one knows this yet. We still have a very important show to do on it. There's one of the highest level audits of anyone of all time, like of a billionaire. Finally, there's an audit completed of Donald Trump. He is probably going to be hit with a tax bill of like $100 million.
I was in another live and they brought this up too.
That's just related to the Chicago Tower. I don't know whatever the hell else he's.
Because the RNC is funding.
Tower.
RNC is funding like $73 million to Trump to help his legal battles. Trump better claim that on taxes.
The Save America PAC is. That's
he better claim that on taxes. If he doesn't claim it on taxes,
too. Just to be clear, his legal bills are being paid by the Save America PAC, which is small donations. We're talking about middle class people are giving their last dime to pay while screaming about gas prices on the internet.
Oh, it's $3.79.
Are paying this man's bills, and it's not rich people; it's small donations.
All I gotta say is go to Circle K. All right, get the little 20-cent gas card, and then sign up for Inner Circle, and you save about 45 cents off of gas.
Someone said Shawshank, no redemption.
All right, no,
that's hilarious.
Real quick, we've only got a few minutes left. I know Erica's just been up; she hasn't got a chance to say anything yet. So,
thanks. Yeah, I'm just going to say this real quick and then I'm going to drop down because I get nervous on live. But sometimes life is like a scene from a movie. And I was quite literally in a therapy appointment and the question was asked, how often do you listen to news throughout your day? And then ping, like right up on my screen. So I just wanted to like jump up and share that with people who would probably laugh because it's just like the scene from a movie where it's like, dude, this is like an outrageous time. And like, of course, like, yes, so anyway, sharing that and hi friends and hi Felice. All right, bye.
Hey, keep Texas blue. Keep Texas blue down there. Let's go. That's first time in history. Well, not first time in history.
I'm working real hard at
blue.
that. I just want to make that very clear. I'm working very hard to make this shit blue.
Let's go.
No,
hey, that guy that was running for president.
Clint we were talking to today. You should you could save Clint.
I just want you to know that I texted a picture to Jen while you guys were up there, and he literally follows me.
The guy, what's his name? He was running for president for a while down in Texas. He'd be a good guy for.
Oh, Trump's outside. He's getting in his car, I think. Or what is going on?
all right, let's. I know Jay wants to wrap it up, so.
Yeah, thanks everyone. Sorry, like I said, I haven't seen my daughter in 5 days, so I jumped back on. We'll be back at it tomorrow morning. I may see some of you later tonight.
Thanks, everybody.
But listen, protect your peace. There's going to be some real angry people out there today. There's going to be some people that are feeling miserable and will want to destroy your day. Don't let them bring you down. Like if somebody's doing that shit, just bounce. Don't let them bring you down. There's restored hope in the American justice system for a lot of us, and I hope that people are feeling a little more peace today. I know I am.
Yeah. All right. Talk to you guys later.
Bye, guys.
Trump's waving like he's in a parade.
Yay!
Yeah, no, just